What is a narcissistic mother? A narcissistic mother is a parent who is overly self-involved, lacks empathy, and puts her own needs, image, and emotions above her child's. Her love may be conditional, manipulative, or performance-based, causing emotional harm over time. Here's an important note. Narcissism exists on a spectrum. Some mothers have narcissistic traits, while others may meet the full criteria for narcissistic personality disorder. That's the shortened NPD. I'm going to be giving you the key traits of a narcissistic mother. The key traits of a narcissistic mother is 1. Lack of empathy, unable or unwilling to relate to her child's emotional needs, dismisses or minimizes the child's feelings. The second one is control and manipulation by using guilt, shame, or emotional blackmail to control behavior. They may say things like, "After all I've done for you," to gain compliance. The third trait is enmeshment. 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 And I know you guys wonder what that is. It's actually, it means like expect the child to mirror their needs or emotions. Overly involved in the child's life, ignoring boundaries. The fourth trait is love is conditional. Love, praise, or approval is given only when the child meets her expectations. Withdraws affection as punishment. The fifth trait is image over substance. They care more about how things look than how things feel. They may pretend to be the perfect mother in public, but behind closed doors they're nothing but a piece of boom boom doo doo doo. That's why I say it like that. The sixth one is jealousy or competition. So they resent the child's success. That's what it's saying. They resent the child's success, youth, or independence. They may sabotage or criticize achievements subtly or overtly. Number 7, the next trait of a narcissistic mother is triangulation. They pit children or family members against one another. They create drama. To maintain control. Then the final trait is gaslighting. They deny the abuse. They act like it doesn't happen, or twist facts to make the child doubt their reality. I'm going to be giving you guys the common signs you're dealing with a narcissistic mother. The first thing is you feel emotionally drained after interacting with her. She makes everything about herself, even your milestones. She plays the victim or martyr when comforted. You grew up feeling not good enough. You walk on eggshells around her. You were expected to parent her emotions. That's called parentification. She validated your emotions. You're too sensitive. And lastly, she guilt-tripped you for wanting independence. So, we're going to be talking about the psychological consequences on children, because there is consequences for on children. In childhood, they would have low self-esteem, anxiety and depression, emotional dysregulation, fear of abandonment or rejection, people-pleasing behaviors. Parentification means child becomes the caretaker. Yeah. In adulthood, the struggles with boundaries, toxic relationships, attraction to narcissistic partners, emotional detachment or over dependence, chronic guilt or shame, difficulty trusting self or others, and imposter syndrome. So I'm going to give you the type of narcissistic mothers here. The first one is the grand loose mother. Yes, I know you're probably saying, "Wait, it's first time I'm hearing this." Yes, first time I'm hearing this too, but I've actually studied and researched, and I found, and this is what I came up with. So the first one is the grand loose mother. So that's the one you need to watch out for. They're outwardly charming, confident, and attention seeking. They sees children as extensions of herself. The second types of narcissistic mother is the vulnerable, the covert mother. They play the victim. They uses guilt and silent treatment. They appears fragile but is emotionally manipulative. That's another one to watch out for. And if you're wondering if the grand loose mother and the vulnerable covert mother, can that be in one person? Yes, because trust me, I've seen it. Trust me, and I'm living with the person. I'm living with that person, and I'll be moving out though. Anyway, so let me continue here. So the vulnerable / covert mother, it says that she played the victim, uses guilt and silent treatment. They appears fragile but is emotionally manipulative. Yeah, that's the one you need to watch out for. The third one you need to watch out for is the ignoring mother. Dismissive and neglectful. Focuses on her own needs and ignores the child. The fourth one you need to watch out for, it is the engulfing mother. She's over involved, controlling, and meshing, and doesn't allow independence. And I know there's going to be questions in the comments saying like what I said before, if all four of them can apply end up into one person. Absolutely. So that means the grand loose mother can be the vulnerable covert mother, and the vulnerable covert mother can be the ignoring mother, and the ignoring mother can be the engulfing mother as well. So all of that can be in one person. Now I'm going to be showing you how it feels to be the child of a narcissistic mother. Now I'm going to tell you how it feels. It says like for example, like, I was never allowed to have my own identity. Yeah, that's how it feels to be a child. In the child perspective, the child will say that, like, I was never allowed to have my own identity. I always had to earn her love. She only praised me when I made her look good. Or I felt invisible unless I did something for her. And that's so funny that as I'm saying this thing, this also applies to me as well, because actually this is all four of these is how I feel, to be honest with you. To be honest, yes. Yeah, all of this this is how I actually feel, to be honest. So the next one we're going to go through is the healing and coping strategies. Number one, you need to do is acknowledge the truth. Accept that your mother may never change, because she's a narcissist. Once a narcissist, always a narcissist. She will still be manipulative. She still will lie and all that kind of stuff. And understand what happened wasn't your fault. And I'm going to say this, it is not your fault. And I have to tell myself the same thing too. It is not my fault. And I come to tell you this, I know there's people out there who are going through the same thing. It is not your fault. The second thing, set and enforce boundaries. Create emotional and or physical distance if necessary. And learn to say no without guilt. Listen, when you say no, it speaks louder. It speaks louder. So learn to say no. Instead of saying yes, say no without feeling guilty, because you have to say no. All right. So the third thing is you go through the grief. You mourn the relationship you wish you had, and reparent yourself. You reparent yourself. It's the fourth thing. Offer yourself the care, the validation, and nurture you didn't receive. The fifth thing, seek support, seek therapy, especially inner child or trauma focused therapy. Or go to support groups like ACA, the Adult Children of Alcoholics and Dysfunctional Families. The sixth thing is educate yourself with books on this topic. Educate yourself on them. Books, podcasts, articles, and that can give you everything that you need to know. It can give you language and validation. Like, for example, there's a book that says it says "Will I Ever Be Good Enough" by Dr. Carol McBride. It's got to be on Amazon or Walmart, wherever, so you can get that. And the second one is Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. Yes, there's a book on that, and it's you could go on Amazon, you could find it, and yes, and this is for the people who has narcissistic mothers. You know what I mean? And this third book I want you to check out is Toxic Parents by Dr. Susan Forward. So the next thing we're going to talk about is when to go low or no contact. So if boundaries are repeatedly violated, yes, and trust me, this happens to me too. I have to, because I've been going through that same thing too. Because my boundaries is it keeps repeatedly. So this is when to go low or no contact. You if boundaries are repeatedly violated, if her behavior is harmful to her mental health or family, and thirdly, she refuses to acknowledge your pain or needs. And final words I want to share with you guys before we jump into next category to the next thing, because the next topic we're going to be focusing on the narcissist, when the narcissist mothers kidnap a baby. What was the perspective on that? So I want to share with this real quick. Breaking free from a narcissistic mother's emotional grip is a radical act of healing. It may require time, courage, and support, but it's possible. You are not unworthy. You are not broken. You are reclaiming your story. You are reclaiming your story. So what I want you to do is this, guys. Yes, all of what I'm telling you, I'm giving you this information because you guys need to know. You need to know. So give me a second here while I pull up here, because I did my research and I found them. So give me a second while I do the same for narcissists who kidnap their babies and turn them from a different sex to another sex. Give me a second here while I pull that up real quick. Right? Okay, give me a second here. If you hear me typing, yes. Okay, I'm gonna type it into for narcissists mothers who kidnapped babies who are males. Let's focus on that. Who are males? Oh yeah, this does happen too. Yes, I'm shocked too. I am shocked myself too. I am. To be honest, I'm actually shocked this actually happened, because funny thing, this happens to me. This happens to me, guys. So that's why like me sharing this, so you guys should understand fully about what I've been going through. So I'm going to share with you about how narcissistic mothers, they are capable of kidnapping babies who are males. Even so, yes, they have the capability. So when a narcissistic mother kidnaps or illegally keeps a male child, especially from a father or a legal guardian or adoptive family or their biological family, the situation becomes more complex, combining emotional abuse, identity trauma, and often a criminal behavior. I'm going to be giving you a full breakdown of the psychology, signs, consequences, and long-term impact of a narcissistic mothers who abduct or unlawfully keep male children, along with insight into healing and recovery. So, that word, what is maternal kidnapping? Yes, I know you guys are probably wondering the same thing too, and you probably guys are probably want to ask this. What is maternal kidnapping? So, maternal kidnapping, it occurs when a biological mother takes, hides, or retains custody of a child. Not of a child without legal right or in violation of a court order. This can involve hiding the child from the father or legal guardian, falsifying documents or identities, moving across state or national borders without consent, raising the child under a false pretense about their origins. So we're talking about narcissistic mothers who's not actually their biological. So the next thing is that we're going to talk about is a narcissistic motivation behind the kidnapping. There is a motivation behind the kidnapping. So that is, a narcissistic mom may kidnap or unfairly keep a son because, one, control. She believes the child belongs to her alone and uses him as a possession. The second thing, revenge. The act may be retaliatory against the child's father or ex-partner, for example, out of spite after a breakup or custody ruling. The third thing, image maintenance. She wants to appear as a devoted mother to others, even if the child was unlawfully taken. The fourth thing is emotional supply. The child is used as a narcissistic supply, meant to fulfill her emotional needs, affirm her superiority, or worship for her. The fifth thing is fear of exposure. If her abusive behavior is being challenged, she may abduct the child from the biological parents to avoid losing control or legal consequences. So I'm going to give you the common traits in narcissist mother who kidnap male children and turn them into a false identity of a female. One is possessiveness, meaning like sees the child as an object but not an independent person. The common trait that's in narcissist mothers who kidnap male children is pathological lying. They alter documents or stories about the child's past. The third thing is victim complex. Portrays herself as the persecuted one. The next common trait is the projection. Blames the other parent or family for forcing her actions. The next common one is the common trait is identity distortion. May tell the child the father is dead or dangerous, or their family is dead or unworthy. The next common trait is isolation tactics. Keeps the child away from the external influence, their biological family, the truth, or love from the father's side. Now I'm going to give you a sign that the son may have been kidnapped or emotionally adopted, especially if he grows up under her care. He is told lies about his father or family history, has no memory of paternal relatives or legal guardians, feels guilt or fear when asking questions about his identity, doesn't know his full legal name or origin, feels an exaggerated need to protect or please his mother, and is emotionally or financially dependent on her well into adulthood. So I'm going to give you guys the psychological consequences, because there is consequences for the son. In childhood, there's going to be loss of identity, alienation from half of the family or culture, chronic confusion or loyalty conflict. Sorry about that. Fear of abandonment or punishment for asking questions. Hypervigilance or anxiety around outsiders, and this is for childhood. When he reached to adulthood, he has trust issues, especially with women or authority, codependency or people pleasing, guilt for forming independent relationships, unstable self-image or dissociation, resentment, depression or suicidal ideation, difficulty forming bonds with their own children or partners. So I'm going to give you a real world examples. So several real life cases reflect. So I would say like kidnapping after custody loss, telling the child their father is dead or abandon them, raising the child in isolation to avoid exposure, using religious or emotional manipulation to justify the abduction. I'm going to give you the legal and the ethical issues too. That's another thing too. Violation of court orders or custody agreements. Parental alienation syndrome, PAS. This is also recognized in some legal states. Emotional child abuse, child identity fraud, criminal kidnapping or internal abduction. This is called the UGG Convention. I'm going to give you some healing and recovery for the son. And if anyone gone through this is for you. 1. By learning the truth. Discovering real percentage or backstory can be shocking but essential. DNA testing. Court documents or family testimony may be needed. Therapeutic support. Trauma-informed therapy, especially around trust, abandonment, and identity. Inner child work to rebuild a sense of safety and self-worth. So the next one here is for healing and recovery for the son. The third one is identity reconstruction, integrating the lost parts of family, culture, or background, choosing his own beliefs, path, and family definitions, reconnecting with alienated family, if possible and safe, reunification with father or paternal family. May require time, boundaries, and mutual healing. And the fifth thing, breaking the emotional chains, learning that loving her doesn't require losing oneself, establishing healthy boundaries or going low or no contact. Now, for the fathers or guardians searching for a lost son, they need to act quickly. They need to file reports and follow legal channels. Hire a family lawyer experienced in custody and abduction. Document all communication and threats. Stay consistent in pursuit. Children who grow up under lies often seek the truth later in life. So here is a recommend resources. I'm going to give you some resources. Now, the book, as I said, there's one called Will I Ever Be Free of You by Carol McBride. The second resource is A Kidnapped Mind by Pamela Richardson. This is a book. And the third one is The Parental Alienation Survival Guide by Kay Douglas. And there are therapy platforms like BetterHelp or Psychology Today. Look for trauma or family therapists. And I want to share some final thoughts here. A narcissistic mother who kidnaps or emotionally hijacks a male child doesn't just harm the father or the family. She deeply wounds the child's soul, sense of self, and future relationships. That healing is possible, but I'm gonna say this, but the healing is possible for real. But the truth is powerful, and reclaiming identity is a journey that many brave men walk with strength, support, and hope. So that is what that is, and this is if the narcissistic kidnap their babies who are males. Okay. Let me give you another one here. What about? I'm gonna give them about turn them into females. Okay. What about turning them into females? a false identity. So you guys could understand. So, okay. I got some information here. So I did ask. Funny thing, I went to ChatGPT just now, and I asked ChatGPT, can you tell me about narcissistic mothers who turn their male the male babies to females, which is a false identity. So, this is what ChatGPT said. Thank you for asking a serious question. That's cool. And it also says, when a narcissistic mother kidnaps a male child and raises him as a female, either by giving him a false identity, changing his name, or force him to live as a girl, this crosses into deep psychological abuse, identity erasure, and in many cases, criminal child endangerment. Which this is one. This is actually what I've been through too. This is because technically I am biologically a male. To be honest with you, I'm a biological male. So, what this is called, I'm going to give you a breakdown of the disturbing dynamic, alright? So I'm going to tell you what it's called. So this situation, it combines multiple forms of abuse, like identity abuse, coercive control, gender/identity suppression, parental alienation, psychological kidnapping. So in some extreme cases, this can also involve Munchausen syndrome by proxy or delusional disorder, especially when the mother genuinely believes or claims the child is not who they are. Why would a narcissistic, I know you guys are going to ask this question here. Why would a narcissistic mother do this? Number one, the reason why they're doing it, to take control over the child's identity. She decides who the child is allowed to be, even rewriting their gender, their name, their history, and their role in the world. And the second thing, rejection of a male child. Yep, rejection of a male child. So some narcissistic mothers may resent or hate men, Miss Anchery. So technically, you put two and two together, my manhood is not there anymore. It's been stuffed inside. Yeah. And C, I'm gonna keep continuing. And see male children as threats or inferior. She may rewrite him into a version that's more emotionally manageable to her. And the third thing why a narcissist would do this is the desire for a daughter. If she wanted a daughter and didn't get one, she may force her male child into that role. The fourth thing is punishment of the father. She may change the child's identity to sever any connection to the father or the sexual connection to the mother. This becomes a tool of vengeance or obliteration. The fifth thing why narcissist mothers will do such things like this is to projection and mental instability. So the mother may impose her own unmet desires, unhealed trauma, or fantasy life onto the child. So in extreme cases, this involves this dissociation from reality. So I'm going to give you information about the psychological impact on the child, because it does impact the child, especially from male to female identity erasure. In childhood, confusion about gender and identity, feeling like something is deeply wrong but not knowing what. This is the same thing what I did because when I was young, I've been saying, I feel like something is, I keep saying this all the time, something is missing. I always say, why do I feel something is wrong? I have been saying this countless times, no joke. I've been saying it countless times. So next one is shame or fear when expressing natural preferences. Yes, for real. Like for example, liking boy things, being punished or manipulated for questioning the false identity. And then for the child one, isolation from peers or extended family to maintain the lie. So when the child grows up to adulthood, this is what happened. The gender identity confusion or trauma, especially if forcibly cross-dressed or renamed. The second one is severe dissociation or depersonalization. Like, I don't know who I really am. And I've been saying that a lot of times. That's so funny. No joke. The next one is resentment. Yes, in adulthood, the child will have resentment, rage, or suicidal thoughts from the abuse of reality. And to be honest with you, I feel I have rage, to be honest with you, and resentment. Not suicidal thoughts, just resentment and rage. The next one is trust issues, especially with women or maternal figures. And that's so funny. I do have trust issues. That's funny. Yes, I do have trust issues. I do. And next one is loss of faith in systems. The schools, the churches, even the law that may have failed to intervene. And then you have difficulty forming a core identity or experiencing gender dysphoria, which may not be naturally occurring but trauma induced. I'm going to give you some real life examples here so you guys can be aware. So children who were kidnapped by a mother or maternal figure and raised under a completely different name and gender. Oh yeah. And yeah, secondly, boys who were forced to dress and behave as girls for years, especially in cases where the mother lived off the grid or exchanged locations frequently. Oh, that's funny. The funny thing, no one that keep hopping from point A to point B, hippity hop hop. I'm hippity hop hop when I was in Jamaica. The next one is adult survivors discovering their true identity only after DNA testing or reunification. How can survivors heal? To reclaim their true identity, their legal name and gender correction, the DNA testing and ancestry tracing. Like for example, 23andMe and Ancestry.com, and reconnecting with paternal or biological roots. The second thing is trauma-informed therapy, the EMDR or CPT for identity trauma and abuse, working through betrayal trauma and inner child healing. Like for the LGBTQIA affirming therapy, if there's authentic exploration of gender. The third thing is a safe support group, support for adult supervisors of narcissistic abuse, men's trauma recovery groups, the reunification support forms of abducted children, and the fourth thing is reconstructed reality for journaling, storytelling, or documenting the journey. And next one is rebuilding the truth through verified records, family, and therapy. And then here there are legal and ethical implications. Kidnapping or custodial interference. You have child abuse and identity frauds. You have violation of human rights. You have false documentation and fraud, like birth certificates or school records. Yeah. And lastly, potential criminal persecution. So if the abuse is discovered in time, the mother can lose custody, face jail time, or be required to pay damages. So, a final thought here: a narcissistic mother who erased her son's identity and imposed a false gender is not only controlling, she's violating the most sacred part of a human being, the right to exist as oneself. So these survivors can often carry deep wounds, but also tremendous inner strength. So healing is possible through truth, support, and courage to reclaim their real story. So this is all the information I gather. Yeah, this is information I gather, and let me tell you what to do if you spot these. What to? Let me tell you what to do next. What to do next for the child. So if you are the child and you discovered all of these, if you discovered it and you found out about who you are, I'm gonna give you some things, some what you need to do next. If you're so to help a child who was kidnapped, who has been kidnapped, emotionally manipulated, or raised under a false identity by a narcissistic mother, especially if that includes forced gender identity changes or name erasure, it requires urgent, careful, and trauma-informed steps. So I'm going to be giving you a comprehensive step-to-step guide on what to do next to protect and support and begin healing the child, or you are the child, or you are the child who's an adult. I want you to listen carefully. This is sensitive, and I want you to careful in steps. So first, step 1, ensure the child is safe. That's the first thing. And then you need to have immediate safety. And you also need to contact Child Protective Service or local authorities if the child is still in danger or illegally held. If you are the legal guardian or father, you may need a court order for custody or emergency removal. The next sign is be involved in law enforcement. If this is a case of parental kidnapping, you must file a police report. I'm going to say it again. If this is a case of parental kidnapping, you must file a police report. You need to contact the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. You need to, and I need to do that too. Step 2, verify the child's identity and legal status. Use DNA testing, like for example Ancestry, 23andMe, or court-ordered tests to confirm biological parentage if needed. I want you to gather all documentation, birth certificates, school records, medical files, etc. Look for inconsistencies or falsified information. And then you have to begin the process of restoring the child's legal identity, correcting name, gender markers with a family lawyer. And then the third thing is gently talk to the child. Depending on the child's age and understanding, you must approach the conversation with care. Yeah, it's some very sensitive stuff here. Very sensitive. You need to ask them. This is actually, I'm gonna give you the tips. First and foremost, I'm gonna give you the tips, and I'll do this. The first thing you need to do: stay calm and reassuring. Number 2, validate their feelings. This is confusing. It's okay to feel scared or angry. It's okay. It's okay to feel that scared and angry. You should. Do not force them to accept new truths all at once. Use age-appropriate language to use age-appropriate language to explain what is happening. Like, I want you to assure them who you truly are matters. You didn't do anything wrong. That's why you need to assure them. Assure them who you truly matters. You didn't do anything wrong at all. And then step 4, trauma-informed therapy. You need to find a licensed mental health professional who specializes in child trauma and narcissistic abuse, gender identity confusion, and then complex FTSD. And you need to have family reunification and their trust repair. So the therapist to consider is EMDR, You already know what that means. If you don't know, it is called eye movement intensification and blessing. And the next one is play therapy. These are young kids. And then you have CBT, cognitive. You have that too. You have cognitive behavioral therapy. And you have attachment based on Larry. Yeah. You have attachment based therapy, and you have CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy. So step 5 is rebuild identity and trust. Here's some practical actions you need to take. Let them choose their clothing, pronouns, and name as they begin to discover themselves. Don't force it either way. Reintroduce their family, culture, and background at their peace. Help them reclaim photos, stories, and truths about their real family. Celebrate who they are, not who they are told to be. And then step 6, monitor you need that. This is a step that's very important. Which should you need that to be able to do that. So, okay, let me read on here. So reintroduce their family culture on the page. Help them reclaim photos, stories, and truths about their real identity. Celebrate who they want. They're not who they want to be. Yeah. So that's that. The next step is monitor for behavioral or emotional distress. Y'all need to watch the signs of dissociation, nightmares, or bedwetting in young children, depression or anxiety. Yep, that's what you need to look for. Rage or confusion about self or parent fears. Yep. And then the next one is suicidal thoughts, and this is especially in teens. So easy intervention is easy. Yep. The next one is step 7, legal and protective measures. So legal and protective measures, they need to file for full legal custody if you're the other parent or the guardian. Oh yeah. Consider a restraining order or protective order. That's what you need to do. Just consider it. You need to. Alright. So consider as restraining order or protective order if the mother is dangerous or you should stop contact. The next one is get a family lawyer, experience in complex custody, abuse, or identity fraud. Yeah. And you have the last one is consider suing your you need to consider suing for damages if the mother falsified documents or caused severe trauma. And and then step 8, you need to yep. And that's for that. Now we're going to talk about Bill 8. Yep. And that is, you need to help the child to create new positive experiences, school, hobbies, relationships. Let them have a voice in how things move forward. Avoid loading them with guilt or revenge narratives. You need to help them understand that they are not broken. They are lied to, but their truth still belongs to them. And I'm going to give you some help for the verses. So you could go to NCMEC by calling 1-800-THE-LOST and RAINN, and that's where if sex abuse is suspected. Yeah. And you have Yep. And then you have another book here. I'm gonna give you some recommended books for you and your child to keep. I mean, you have the body keeps the score. Blesses Van der Waal, and this is a recommended. You could read Raising the Children of Child if child is expert identity after abuse, and then you have Break You Free from Narcissistic Mothers, Dan Metcalf. But healing with this shame at Banjo. So these are all information that you need to know, and I hope this has shed some light on you about what it is. Yep. So that's that. Alright guys, so that is everything you need to know. And if this applies to you, make sure to do it urgently. It's also serious. It's also serious. So make sure to take precautions. It is serious. Alright, so that being said, that's everything you need to know, and this is all about narcissistic mothers and what you need to do if that happens. What if you do if yes, it is possible that narcissist would steal somebody's child, because I am example. I'm the example because that's why I keep telling you I'm biologically a boy, because the proof is on me. I got hairs on my leg, yeah, all that stuff. And I know you're gonna say, do you find your family? Yes, I did, but I don't know how. I'm gonna do the DNA testing. I know who my twin sister is, because I have a twin. I know who my twin sister is. So yeah, I know that for a fact. Yeah. Alright guys, so that's about it. And I hope this, as I said, I hope this has helped you to shed some light on what you should do and what you need to do, because it's very, I give you this information for a reason. And yeah, and I'll be sharing my story about it. Yes, you guys can know. Alright guys, God bless you. And if you're making this far in the episode, thank you for joining. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you give me everything so you could know. But yeah. Alright guys, peace, God bless, and take care. If you have any questions, comments, leave it in the comment section down below. And make sure that, yes, my birthday bash is on July 17th, because that's my actual birthday. That's my actual birthday. So yeah. Anyway guys, y'all know who this is. Be blessed, stay blessed, and if you need anything, you know where to find me. Alright guys, so follow all social media platforms, and yeah. Alright guys, peace out, and God bless. And don't forget, if you haven't, to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah. Yo. Alright guys, I'm gonna go.